Do you want to grow garlic in your own garden? Today I'm going to show you how. G'day there, I'm Dana from Piwakuka Valley. The kids and I have been out in the garden today and we decided to get the garlic in. And just when we went in for lunch I realised I probably should have filmed it for you. So I'm going to have a wee talk about growing garlic at your own place and why we do it and how we do it. However, I can't show you us actually planting the whole garden bed because we've already done it. We like to grow our own garlic because garlic's one of those crops that is really expensive to buy. At the store I found it in last week, $30 a kilo, which is about $15 a pound I think. And we can grow it. It grows really well here. So if you want to grow your own garlic, you're going to need some nice fertile soil, potentially some blood and bone or blood meal, whichever you prefer, and a little bit of lime to mix through the soil, and some compost probably to top your garden up with. We've already got quite rich soil here, it's mostly compost, and I've already added the blood and bone and some lime to it. The other thing you'll need is some seed garlic. Now you can buy seed garlic from the store, especially labelled as seed garlic, or you can go to someone that grows their garlic organically and decide to grow from there. That's what we did originally. We bought some at our local farmers market. It was some organically grown garlic, and over the last few years I've just grown and saved our own seed. I'll just take my gloves off. Excuse my dirty gardener's fingers. Now this is a good sized garlic clove that I kept from last time. We grow soft neck garlic. There's also hard neck garlic. Soft neck garlic, obviously the top of it's really soft, and it has more cloves, but they're smaller cloves in a bulb. And hard neck garlic has like a stalk that grows up through the middle of it. It has less cloves on each bulb, but the cloves are much stronger tasting, and I believe the hard neck garlic is better for short seasons, but I'll have to double check that. Some people grow a mixture of both. We prefer the soft neck. It preserves really, it just stays like this really well. I don't bother tying it together. I used to. These days we just cut it and store it in a bowl somewhere cool and dark. And then to grow your own garlic, all you need to do is pull off these outside one clove like that, and that will become its whole own garlic plant. What you don't want to do is plant these tiny little ones. So some of them get really quite small, some of them are like this one. This one's super tiny. I don't know if you can see that. Super tiny. What you want to be doing is growing the ones that are sort of this size. This will give you the better sized plants at the end. So that's the sort of size to go for. The tiny wee ones in the middle of the bulb, just miss those out. Use them for cooking instead. So I'll show you how you actually plant the garlic. We have just planted up this whole garden bed with garlic. That's what all those wee white bits are. They're just the papers from the garlics. I'll put you that way. There's a rogue cabbage plant just growing there as well. As you can tell, this soil here is full of organic matter. It's really light and fluffy, perfect for growing garlic, and that's just some roots from the courgette that was in here before. So to plant your garlic clove, all you want to do is get it this end with the wee hard wooden flat end on it. That's the end the roots will grow out of, and this pointy end here is the end that the leaves will come out of. So you want it root end down, and all you need to do is push it down into the ground so that it sits just below the ground surface, and then cover it up. And that's all you have to do. And then once it's in the ground, you can mulch it. We usually use grass clippings. That's what this is, old grass clippings. Or what we're actually going to do in this garden bed is put another thin layer of some compost just to top it up. It's April here at the moment, which for us is mid-autumn, and that's when we find that we grow the best garlic, as we sow it now and we harvest it about 6 months later, 6 to 7 months later. You can plant your garlic in early spring, which is also a really good time to get it in the ground, which is why I thought now would be a perfect time to get this video out for people that are in springtime and for people that are in autumn. It's a really good time to get your garlic in the ground. If your ground gets like knee deep in snow, or you get lots of really heavy frosts, you don't want to be planting it in fall, you want to be planting it in the springtime. Once your garlic has come up, I usually will then go around and pull out any weeds, because garlic does not like competition with weeds. We make sure that we keep the soil nice and moist, so if we haven't had rain during the week, we'll give it a bit of a water. And they're really hungry feeders, so giving them a top dressing of a bit of compost is a really helpful idea. And otherwise we tend to keep ours quite well mulched in between the rows. The good thing about garlic is it will come up through anything pretty much that you throw over the top of it. So so previously we used to mulch really heavily with straw, and we would just cover the whole garlic bed. We used to cover the whole garlic bed in probably about 4 inches, 10 centimeters of straw, and just leave it be, and the garlic always managed to come up through it. So that's a really good way of keeping the weeds down, keeping the moisture in, and also it will slowly break down and feed the garlic, so that works really well. You can do the same thing with a layer of compost over the top, or what we will do is put a layer of compost and then in springtime put a thin fluffy layer of some lawn clippings. And to harvest your garlic, you just wait until the tops start to brown off, and then you can just pull them all out of the ground. Usually we loosen them carefully with a little garden fork, just one of the wee handheld ones. Just loosen around them and then just pull them all out, and then leave them sitting in the sun to cure for a day or two. So I usually wait until it's going to be a nice day for a couple of days in a row and just leave them out on the ground, flip them over the next day, and then you can tie them in bunches, or you can pull the tops off, or however you want to store them. Just store them somewhere cool and dark and dry, and they will last quite easily for 6 months to a year quite happily. So I hope you found this really useful. If you have, hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. We bring you videos twice a week on growing, preserving your own food and other homesteading bits and pieces. We'll see you in the next one.